This child in a few years will be a financial services customer. And whether she is rich or poor, whatever her background, wherever she lives in the world, she's going to have an opportunity to have a healthy financial life in terms of how she interacts with financial services. And that is because the financial world that she's going to work in will be different from the one that we all have grown up in that it's going to be fully digitized.
Fintech is extremely important across Africa, and so what I wanted to do was to come here to learn and to network and to see what was happening at the forefront of this.
In Africa, Fintech represents a huge opportunity to deliver jobs and growth. And it's imperative that our regulatory environments are designed both to encourage innovation and to protect consumers and protect citizens, and also to protect privacy.
In many of the fragile states, for example, we have not a problem of access of finance, but access to roads, access to electricity, access to health. And so I think connecting financial services with real outcomes, people don't wake up wanting a bank account. They want to send their kids to school, they want to take their medicine.
The exclusion rate in Sierra Leone is very high. We are rated amongst the highest in the region and in the world, an average of about 80 to 85% of people are excluded, financially excluded. Don't have access to basic financial services. So we see Fintech as an opportunity to nurture innovation, to encourage people to think outside the box.
I'm working with CGAP and FSD Africa with financial regulators around the world, helping them think about structures for facilitating innovation in their countries, looking specifically at innovation programs designed to facilitate financial inclusion.
One of the things that you want to have is the raw fuel of innovation, and that means the ready availability of data.
Because everything is so new, it's quite complicated for regulators to know how to regulate them. So events like this one are very good for us because then we learn from what other regulators around the world are doing.
We have a long way to go, so there is a lot of work to be done. But one of them is to understand that fintechs are coming up, there are constraints in terms of regulation. So we anticipate that FSD Africa has a lot to do.
And what we are doing as regulators is to be part of the process, to work with partners like governments, FSD Africa.
With the countries and with the central banks, it's very important to have boots in the ground that really FSD provides.
Mainly, they've worked with us trying to come up with research on digital financial services, so we continue to work with them.
This is one of the most important regions of the world because so many people have come into the financial services access, able to get affordable services because they have cell phones. And in many ways, the developing countries are at the forefront of how to regulate this because they have hundreds of millions of customers who have just come into the system and are going to need protections and regulatory structures put around it. So it's the cutting edge. It's very, very exciting.